So, apparently the only way to get a tin of Cornell and Diehl's 2022 St. Patrick's Day Reserve was to order a brand new Peterson pipe from smokingpipes.com. But I've got my ways. I've got my ways. I feel like you're judging me right now. So, before we get started, I wanted to remind everybody that we're giving away a free Morgan Bones pipe. Last week, I did an interview with Chris Morgan of Morgan Pipes, and as part of that, we're giving away one of his Bones pipes. Now, he sent me this, and I have no idea what's in here. This could be any one of the shapes. He could have put dirty pipe cleaners in here for all I know. I have no idea which one is in here. So, if you want to win this pipe, I promise it's a pipe. It's not dirty pipe cleaners. If you want to win this pipe, go back on my channel, look for the interview with Chris Morgan, subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment about why you love Bones pipes so much. And you will be entered to win this pipe. Now, the drawing for this pipe will be this Wednesday, March 16th, 2022. And we'll be announcing the winner on my live stream I do on Facebook called The Underdog Journey. Links for all of this will be down below, but feel free, go back, check out the interview, and leave a comment because you could win this pipe. So yeah, I'm a sucker for these small batch, limited release runs. Sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're not. So you really have to temper your expectations with these things. And some people are really going to disagree with me on this. But, if one of these limited release runs was really the best thing they'd ever produced, they could relatively easily replicate that flavor profile. You may end up with Pepsi versus Coke, but in the end, you're really going to come out with pretty much the same thing. Where am I going with this? Well, again, you need to temper your expectations. They're probably not going to be the best thing they've ever produced, but at the same time, you can bet they're going to be pretty good because they're not going to waste their time or their energy or their reputation on putting something out that's just terrible. So you're going to end up something probably middle of the road, so let's go into it knowing that. But in the end, it's still probably going to be pretty good because, look, pipe smokers have a long memory, and reputations die hard. At the same time, exclusivity or limited release can sometimes elevate what would normally be an average product into something people go absolutely crazy for. Look at the McRib. Look at pumpkin spice everything. Look at Pappy Van Winkle. And just saying that, I know that I struck a nerve with at least a few people out there. But look, the truth hurts, and that's what we're here to do. This is a safe place. So, let's get on with the review. And to answer your question, no, I didn't buy a pipe specifically to get this blend. I was going to buy one anyway, I swear. Don't judge me. So, the tin describes this blend as specifically crafted to celebrate the 5th century patron saint of Ireland. St. Patrick's Day Reserve 2022 celebrates Irish tradition with old world notes of hazelnut and vanilla elevating bright Virginias and 3 distinct families of Cavendish. Smooth and creamy with a rich, naturally sweet finish. Exceptional for special occasions, which sounds awesome. And the smokingpipes.com website, the website, smokingpipes.com, I'm really good at this, can't you tell? Finishes that description by saying it's smooth and creamy with a rich, naturally sweet finish that pairs exceptionally well with a pint or strong coffee. With a pint of strong coffee, just a pint or strong coffee. Which again sounds great, but we could use a little bit more detail about the actual blending components. So, I reached out to the fine folks at Cornell and Diehl to see if they could provide a little bit more detail about what actually went into this blend. To which, they replied back with a mix of Virginias, bright Virginias, burly Cavendish, sweet and unsweetened Cavendish. Okay, well that's a bit more information we can use, but there was no mention of what topping or flavorings went into this. However, the note about a burly Cavendish was pretty interesting. So, first things first, the tin note. Literally, as soon as you break the seal on the tin, almost all there is a blast of vanilla. And if you're not into aromatics, it might be a little much for you. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but again, it's a lot of vanilla happening here. But on second inspection, there's actually a lot going on here. It mentions hazelnut in the description, and while there is some hazelnut there, it's really almost an afterthought. I'm picking up on a little bit of liquor, maybe maybe a little bit of bourbon, but definitely some amaretto and rum, and maybe a little bit of Irish cream. I'm not sure if that's just in my head because it's a St. Patrick's Day blend, but there's definitely something creamy about this. I think I'm picking up on a little bit of the citrusy grassiness from the Virginias, but it's hard to tell because almost all of the actual tobacco notes are being hidden by the strong topping that's happening here. Again, it's not bad, it's just a lot of topping. It's very, very sweet. The tobacco is a ribbon cut, as you can see. Comes out of the tin a little bit moist, so you'll want to dry this out before you smoke it. After that, it lights easily, and stays lit pretty well. As for the flavor, the first third of the bowl was extremely mild. The flavor was so light. I was constantly trying to pull out some of that creamy vanilla flavor that was in the tin note, but by the time you light it, it was completely gone. But it did produce a really nice thick smoke, which had a great mouthfeel. There did end up being a little bit of hay in the nose in the retrohale, and just a touch of spice on the back end. So that first third of the bowl wasn't bad at all. It was just very, very mild. The second third of the bowl definitely had a little bit different personality happening. If you're not careful, I noticed it had a little bit of a tendency to burn a little hot. And it didn't produce any bite, but it did create a little bit of an ashy taste that I didn't care for. But if you could keep the heat under control, it was, again, very nice smoke. It produced just a little bit of spice that would come and go. Not a lot, just enough to add some interest. And by the time I got to the final third of the bowl, I'd almost made up my mind about this tobacco. But this is actually when some of the original notes of creamy vanilla and some nuttiness started to come through. Again, don't let it get too hot, and you'll definitely be rewarded. But the room note is definitely where this blend shines. You know, I didn't really pick up on much of the creamy vanilla or nuttiness until towards the end of the bowl. But in the room note, they really came forward and produced a really nice room note. So, after a couple bowls of this, I decided to take their advice and pair it with an adult beverage or two, or a couple. And I thought I would try an experiment. I paired it with Guinness, coffee, and, since it's St. Patrick's Day, Jameson. Because after all, what doesn't go well with Jameson, am I right? And I hate to admit it, but the description online was actually right. The bitterness of a Guinness or a coffee really makes this sweet, creamy vanilla, and other notes in this tobacco really pop at just the right time. So really, the best experience I've had with this tobacco was the final third of the bowl paired with a iced black coffee. So, how do I rate this tobacco? Well, I've kind of come up with my own rating system. This is how I rate almost everything. It's a rating between 1 and 10, 1 being, I'll never try it again, it was terrible, 10 being magically delicious. St. Patrick's Day, right? And the only thing is, you can't say 7, because 7's a cop-out. Everybody's going to say 7. So, 1 to 10, you can't say 7. How do I rate this tobacco? You know, I'm going to give this a solid 6. It's right in the mid-range. It's slightly above average. It was good. Would I buy it again? You know what? Maybe. Wouldn't be my first choice. I'd buy it again, though. Will I smoke this again? Absolutely. I'll definitely smoke this again. It's a good blend. I did have to bring it down just a little bit because the way that they are giving this away is you have to buy a new Peterson pipe to get it. And I have a feeling there are some people out there who would buy a pipe specifically to get a limited batch run of this. And was it worth that? I don't think so. I don't think you should buy a pipe just to get this. But if you happen to get one, it's a fine smoke. I think you'll like it. Unless you hate aromatics and or you hate vanilla, something along those lines. But overall, not bad. Again, 6 out of 10. That's not bad. Right in that mid-range. And yeah, so if you get a 10 of this, tell me what you think. I'd really love to hear somebody else's opinion. I haven't seen anybody else online review this yet, so I may be the first, and I may be completely wrong. It could be the best thing ever, or it could be complete garbage. I have no idea at this point. Nobody else has reviewed it. That's my solid opinion, though, and I hope that's helpful. If you were swaying one way or the other, whether you should buy a pipe to get this blend, look, that's not how I would spend my money. But if you need a pipe anyway, it's a nice free tin of tobacco. I highly recommend it. And yeah, again, don't forget to check out my other video to get this Morgan Bones pipe, enter to win this Morgan Bones pipe. And all right, thanks again. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.